Hey guys, it's Ellen. Welcome to my channel. And today's Friday, so you know what that means. Floral Friday! Yay! We're working on a bearded iris today. Super easy, loose, fun. I give you a reference material, but we're gonna just make it. It's gonna be fun and easy, just doing watercolor practice, not using a trace, using your brush to play around to make these simple irises. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Just so much fun. Splatter paint, push around paint. Also, please don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorial is up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Also, check out my Patreon. I have ad-free videos, traceables, exclusive tutorials on Thursdays, and a live stream on the top tier. It's just a place people go and support my channel, which I super appreciate. Yeah, you know, and I have like a couple and I have traceables, reference photos, so you can trace along with some of the YouTube channel stuff. You can check it out right here on the little I button. So, without further ado, let's get painting some fun little irises. Alright guys, let's go with supplies. I have a piece of Arche 100% cotton cold pressed paper. This is a 9x12 piece from a pad that looks like this. You see it in the store. Loose pad. I have a reference photo that I attached, and I'm going to just, you know, go by. My palette, my paints, my water jars are up here. It's hard to see everything. Paper towels. I'll be working with a couple of brushes. Princeton 10 and 12 Neptune series and Princeton 8 long round series. And palette, we'll go over the paints as we use them. I've already mixed up some greens, and I talk about this in almost every tutorial. I take cadmium yellow deep and I mix it with my peacock blue. Get, you know, just a touch of the blue in here. It gets this bright lime green, maybe 50-50, a little bit more yellow to get the medium green. And on the darker green, I use the yellow with Prussian blue. Okay, and then for the purple of the iris, we can make them this color purple, more of a pink tone. I'll be using my bright rose. I'm gonna grab some of that. Mixing this up with ultramarine blue, makes a beautiful purple. Now if I want it more blue, I'll just put some ultramarine blue up here. I'll grab just a little bit of this bright rose, and you get more of a bluish purple. See that? So we're playing with the combination of the two. Now this doesn't require a sketch. You could sketch the irises, but I want you to get used to practice, you know, painting without a sketch, without, you know, just looking at a flower. So you can pick up flowers from the store, whatever, and you just taking the brush, hitting the paper. It's just fun, you know, to try and teach your eye to paint that way, because otherwise it's a stiff kind of scenario. And if you want to make loose flowers, you're better off not having a sketch. So you can see from the irises, these are bearded irises, the different types of irises, and they have just basically kind of like rugged, kind of like wiggly kind of edges on their petals. So we're gonna kind of paint that, you know. Just gonna grab. I think that's why I wanted to get the number 12, because it's a bigger brush. We can kind of get more surface area with that. We'll start off with the petal and see how it looks. I'm going to just take some more paint. I need a lot of paint with this paper, by the way. It soaks up a lot. I'm going to add some more water. Now the consistency should look like tea, you know? Okay. Now I've added more water. I already put this on my brush and I added more water to it. And I'm just going to start. I don't want to do the same exact picture where they're just like boom, boom next to each other. I'm going to take this guy and pull him down. So maybe if you cut the paper and pull him down, that might help, right? So it might help your eye. So I'll show you. These are little tricks. You can do it on your computer. You just imagine the other one there. So now I'll take this, kind of move him down here. Like that. And that's what I'll be painting. You see? You don't have to do exactly what you see all the time. So take this brush, and I see how this just, there's a little brown in here. I don't know. loop around. I'm going to put that little petal first, and then I'll go from there. It's fairly wet, so just kind of wiggling my brush, see? Wiggle, and then pull up the tip. See, I'm tapping the paper towel. There's a lot of water on this. Take the tip, wiggle back, wiggle. Look at that, you already made an iris petal. See? Look how fast that just was created. You literally can do this in like 5 minutes. Same thing here, you're gonna go up, over. You can't see this petal. You can try and see the petal. There we go. And just kind of wiggling it. Because remember, it's just this jagged edges. It doesn't have to be perfect like the picture. You're just going to get the feel of it. We'll go back in and we'll add in, with our long round, the little highlights of you see the veins coming from the petals. Boom. Then we have this big one in the middle. You can see kind of a lighter vein in the middle. We can make this a little bit darker. So it kind of goes up and down. Kind of like a sideways heart that's not really indented. Just little indents like that. Just really loose. You can add some deeper color if you want to. And then we have one in the background. Again, go up, wiggle out, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of bring it back. See, I'm already mixing more paint. You want a good amount of paint. Wiggle. Tapping on my brush if it's too much. Boom. Just wiggle. I might, fine tune the wiggle. But it already looks like the picture, right? Somewhat. I mean, it's not perfect. There is one petal behind this one. Just kind of put that little petal in there. Already you have the bearded iris. Irish. I said Irish. Isn't that funny? It's iris. So we've got that bloom in there, and then we can try and do the other one on the other side. Same wiggle technique. Let's get the paint. You can kind of see this one. Again, you're going to do this whole motion. I'm going to start here. Align and then kind of push down on your brush and wiggle and then pull up. And it doesn't have to be pointy. And this leaf is a little bit different. You wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of on a point. Like a leaf shape, but a point, and it wiggles on the side. So you can make like a leaf shape like this, and then you can go in if you're not really good at that, figure out where I want the wiggles, and then go put those in. It's like a little point, and just misshapen that. There's that leaf. Excuse me, petal. God. And then we're gonna do the same. Yeah, this one's not as wiggly. Just like a droppy, kind of simple. Like a big old leaf petal. And then pull this line back in here. And there is like a little one peeking out on the side, you see there. See? Just take your brush, whoosh, push back in. See how easy that was? Now, while it's still damp, if you want to take some concentrated, see there's the ultramarine blue, there's the bright rose, make a nice deep purple. You can bleed in some color. I'm adding a little bit more water to it. It's not going to bleed as much. From the inside edges, maybe back here, and then one back here. It's giving it more depth. You can make it a little bit darker here. Play around with this, guys. This one can be a little bit darker in the background. If you don't want to bleed into the one in the front, just kind of lift up the paint and move it. Voila! We've got the petals of the flowers. They're there is a little guy peeking through. I decided to put him here. But I want to do stems first. So we get the greens. We can start off using the light first. And you can see there's some browns in here. We have burnt umber here. We can kind of blue that in. Let's put some over here. Still using this big old brush. So I'm just going to put the stem down. I can add brown. It has that little bulbous thing kind of sticking out here. Just kind of the stem and kind of push that out. My brush a little dirty, so the paint got a little dirty. I want that bright green. Okay, I'll go back in. You would start off doing the lighter color first because you can always add in a deeper green. This is kind of fun. You're kind of like going like this, connecting the leaves, and then just there's like a whole little where the bulb came out of here, the flower. Again, almost like you're hugging it. And then you come down. Now it's very yellow. I will change that green because this green in here is more of a kind of like a Kelly green. And I'm pulling it down. Okay. We have a leaf here. It's like a nice bright green. Take those two colors, peacock blue, see? Grab a little yellow. Get that nice bright green. Take in your brush. And you're basically just going to push down. Connect that. So it's a little dry here. I'll add some more water and some more paint. There's your leaf. Now it looks a little stiff. I'm going to make this more fun. And you know, we can make this really loose by, I'll show you later, like erasing the paint. But this is just to get you to paint the actual iris first. I'm going to fix this. It looks a little too stiff. You see in the picture, there's the one in front of it actually. And then I'm going to put this little guy. Maybe make mine a little huggy here. And then this kind of thing is more purple and green. You could do that. I don't know if it's necessary. So I'll put the green, same kind of thing here, hugging. See, pointy little leaves, kind of hugging the flower. You can clean off your brush with water. Take some of this purple that you mixed up. And you can kind of tap some of that in. It will make it a little darker, like almost brown, but you want to grab some pink. And I'll give that little purple tone to it, like you see in the photograph. Just play around with that. Same thing with here, see? These ones are a little on the purple side. The one beautiful thing about having a hard edge for a braided iris is that it just perfectly suits it, right? Making a mess here. So again, can bleed in some of this purple in here with the green. Just grabbing some purple. It's making kind of brown, but that's kind of what it looks like actually. And you can add some bright green in there too. I tend to grab more of the pink. Looks a little prettier. Look at that. And onto here, same thing. You can grab some of the purple or pink and mix it with the green. So it does become brown. Still take this brush, kind of just stopping here. See how it has like a little hard edge here, stops, and the pink color goes up here. Boom. It does have a little side one. We could put that in. I didn't put it in. There we go. Again with the green. I'll start off doing the green first to get my bearings. That one could be peeking, even though it's showing it underneath that. I'm just having it like that. And then you could put the little one stem coming out here. And this one's kind of more on the purple side. Purple brown. So add a pinkish purple leaf that's kind of hugging that. Going back and making some more deeper green. Now, that doesn't show a leaf here, but see, I kind of feel like it needs something. So I will go in and I'll put one in. These are things you can, artistic, you know. This is how you feel like when you change things to make it look like your design. I'm going right to the edge, and I might even add another stem kind of peeking through here. See, all these little things that you can do. Don't have to make it look like that. So originally it's like this, but we made it like this, and we've changed the picture. Then we have a little bud sticking here. Grab my purples and just kind of filling that in. A little round. Maybe I'll add more pink to that. Just kind of peeking through. And a little more purple and pink here. And here. And now at this point, you can take, now I have this like weird thing just sticking here. Maybe I'll just go add another purple kind of leaf kind of sticking in there. That's it. Simple, right? All the fun stuff. Now we can do a little play on other things. We can go in and add deeper lines and all that stuff, or we can splatter some paint. I might loosen up some of this bright rose. You can keep it like this. Just go a little nuts. Right? I know you're going to say, what is she doing now? These are things I like to play around with. Adding some color. I splattered it. And now I'm going to just take my brush with water. I'm just going to push that color around. Let's see what we can do. Maybe add some more color. Purple, pink to the background. Changing it a bit. Can add some blue. Ultramarine blue. I want to make it more expressive. So I showed you how to do the actual iris. Now we're going to change it. And then we're going to go back in and we're going to do the fine lines of the iris. So I'm grabbing ultramarine blue, clanking, and grab some of this bright green, water it down. See? Kind of push that paint around. That's how we make it loose. You're like, why did she do that? You know that's where I'm going. I'm gonna be wild and crazy. Take some more bright rose. I just like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. You don't have to be me. I like to be wild with my pictures. I want them to have a little expression. I feel like I'm just sitting there. Okay, I can just teach you to paint an iris. But you can take it and do that, whatever you want. You can add these greens. See, I'm going taking the greens and moving them around a little bit. Take some ultramarine blue. Gonna go in between. Playing around. You gotta experiment. It's supposed to be fun, right? You hear my dog in the background? Okay. I just mushed it around. I might go in here and add some more bright pink. Try to make it fun. Pay no attention to the doodle in the background. See how it kind of bled there? I kind of like that. I'm going to go add a little yellow. I'll probably add some more blue, if anything. A nice pretty ultramarine blue. Gotta water it down. Get a little bit darker. More blue. It's just my little thing. Again, you can splatter more paint. Oops, that one didn't splatter. There we go. Alright, well, you saw the iris. So when that dries, still a little wet from all this nonsense, but you take your Princeton 8 long round, go mix up your purple, and then you can go and touch the edges. So make paper towel close by, and then from the center, kind of put some lines in the middle, little streaks. And you see in this one has little streaks going down. And this one has a center going up this way, and then the streaks going down, little lines. Now you don't have to put them in everywhere, just add them where you feel like you need them. This one's have the streaks coming from the edges. See how I'm going the edge and just kind of going inward. You can kind of push them down too. Here's a nice darker line on this one, as you see in the photograph. And then the little edges kind of going towards the center. You don't have to do that. It's just another add-on. Going to make this one a little bit darker in the background. I'm getting a little bit darker going towards where the stem meets this. And also, you could try using color pencil. Don't have to be just using paintbrush. See on this one. Keeping this light one. This one's still a little bit light. Make the color a little light and just go like that. If you feel like the edge is too hard, clean up your brush, grab some water, kind of push it around. And you can go back in and make this a little bit darker, you know. Don't be afraid to play around with the color on the irises. See? I'm changing it again. And then I mix up some of that dark green because I put a little line here, go a little bit darker going down. Same thing here. This one kind of bled out. We'll fix that. Let's go back in. You can add some veins going into the leaves. Lost some of the leaves here. Just, you know, it's all about play, guys. Going back in here again. I'm just filling in. And then, of course, you can start to play around with putting in color for this part of the iris here that's holding it from the part that's the bloom right here. So, you know, you could have just left it like the picture. Just plain old white. I'm going to lift the paint up here so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, lift paint up too. Play around. Like you can do this whole thing where you paint all this background and do like the bokeh thing. I have tutorials on that. This is all about play, guys. Go back in. I might add some deeper blue. It's still very wet, so you might want to wait till it dries a little bit before you go back and play. You can add some more tones. See, I'm playing around with adding in some deeper color here. All this stuff. These are all these things I'm just trying to show you in the practice. Maybe here this is still light and just add a little shadow by adding a little bit dark color right there. It gives it a little shadow. Same thing with the one behind here. A little shadow on the back and the one behind this little leaf right here. So it's highlighting the front one. And of course you make the little lines. And you can just make the edges a little bit darker also. Show those little wiggly edges. Don't have to do this. Again, it's just another thing to do to add another element. I'll add a little brown in here because you can see it in the photograph. There's a little brown where it connects to the stem. And it's like, I would call it like almost like a pod. It's right here. Greenish, brownish, pinkish, yellow pod. I'm playing around with this one. Lift up the color. It's a little muddy. I want to clean it up. And then go back in and add some pink. It looks more pink in the picture. I think the pink's prettier. And again, I'll just lift up some of the outside so it's not bleeding into it. And you go back in again with your brush. The pink, all the ultramarine blue. You know, I'm just going to play around with putting color. Some nice pretty blue around the iris out here. Maybe stream in some more pink. Or you don't have to do this, like I said. Taking out some of the pink, putting it in, playing around with the blue. Maybe keep this whole area up here less kind of crazy, you know? Just keep the downstairs, the downstairs kind of wild. Okay, I might just go in here and add a fake like leaf. Feel like it needs something else. Just to hold it together, like the composition. And I'll just go back in here when that whole bleeding situation has kind of calmed down. You know, and then you can just make some smaller splatters. The green. Like I said, you don't even have to do this. The small ones of the pink. Ooh, a little crazy. And then I'll do the purple, of course. The blue, the pink, purple. Could put a little yellow up there. That's pretty much it, guys. I want you guys to experiment. Now, like I said, this guy's bleeding a little too much. I'll have to go in and fix this. See, I'm lifting it up with paper towel. I'll go back in with my Princeton 8 when it's dry. And I'll fix this little pod. As you see the reference photo, you see how simple that was just to create the iris. Like I said, you go back in with some ultramarine blue right out of the tube, basically. Putting those little lines, little details. All these little things kind of shape your picture and your design. I didn't do too much by the way of the area where the flower's coming out. I'll add a little darker brown here, the shadow, maybe even some ultramarine blue. Same thing in here. Mostly green coming up. And then go in here. A little bit darker, right where it stops right there. You know, play around with this stuff here. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Splatter, paint. You see how it just wiggled and you made that iris? I can make it even deeper while I'm just sitting here talking to you. I might change it up a little bit. You know, I might make this a little bit darker. And why not? Don't want to go too crazy though. You want to be able to see some of the iris. You can put a little more pink in this. Grabbing my pink. A little more pink tones in here. Play around with it. I'm probably going to play around with it after I finish talking to you. I want you guys to have fun. But see how simple that was to paint an iris? Very simple. Maybe I don't want the color in here. I can lift it up. Like we did with the bokeh. You know, you can just take your brush, kind of wiggle that paint, the water, and lift it up. Just changes it. Take your brush, wiggle it. Play around with this, guys. You don't even have to destroy what I did. You know, you can just do whatever you want. So I hope you enjoyed. Super easy irises. Go in, take some deeper color, make some veins, play around with color, splatter, paint, wiggle the brush. Get creative. Don't worry about what others' paintings look like. Your painting is not going to be their painting. My painting is not going to be your painting. I really think you can totally do this. You just wiggled those little lines. You know, it's a little space in there. So I'm going to play with this while I'm finished talking to you. Like again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I try and answer them. I can't answer all of them. I do my best. And I hope you enjoyed this little fun, crazy iris tutorial. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.